Okay, this is part 2 of this teaching concerning Chuck Youngbrants' timeline. And what I want to go to now is the second possible place where the destruction of the West Coast is going to happen, what the Lord showed me back in 1988. So this would put it, if we are coming into the first year of Chuck's timeline in 2020, then this would set this to take place in the spring of 2022. So it's either 2021 or the spring of 22. I forgot to mention that in here there was another bit of information, and that is when the Lord took me into the visions, right at the last, it's not what I saw, it's what I heard. And I heard the audible voice of the Antichrist declare a time of great persecution, like a global jihad. And I saw his intention. I felt it. I could cut it with a knife. That's what I heard that shook me up the most. And so, so that would tie in with the sign that the Lord gave me, where this dinosaur stood up out of the water in Departure Bay. That the beast stood up out of the water, right? The sign of the beast rising up out of the water. So it would coincide with what I heard in the last part of the 7 visions. Okay, so we're trying to establish an argument for the final destructive quake, a 9.1 earthquake to be followed by a 12.2, where I saw a 1,500-foot tidal wave hit. It washed over Vancouver Island like it wasn't even there. And so what I heard is a possible evidence, like a final warning to get ready, that the beast is about to rise up out of the sea. So the Lord would be given, so we know that the Psalms 80 war is going to happen here, and that will cause the beast to rise up out of the sea. So this is the physical sign what the Lord gave, showing that the beast is about to rise up and to usher a decree of great persecution against the saints. It's amazing as I put this together. I didn't write this down, or I'm just talking verbatim, but it seems to be coming together quite spontaneously, that there's a hidden message. I've been working on this chart, but as all the pieces come together, you begin to see the overall prophetic picture. So it's a possibility that this giant quake that's going to destroy 3 million people in Canada, in Vancouver, in the Lower Mainland, is going to take place here. And in the background, I saw the volcanoes going off. I knew they were happening. And I knew that other cities were being affected. And so that's the 2 points that I can see, that as far as making an argument, the fear factor on the faces of the people, stuff coming from up, rising up out of the States, the Antichrist rising up out of the sea and speaking forth a decree for great persecution. So these would be minor evidences to support the fact here. And one of the things that I did not see in the visions, I did not see Russian tanks or troops, or Chinese tanks or troops, or paratroopers. I didn't see that in the vision. But I have spoken to others when I lived in Mission, which is not too far from here. I've talked to 2 other people that they saw a time where Mission, which is a small town, there's thousands of paratroopers started dropping out of the skies, shooting people with machine guns as they were coming down with, AK-47s, slaughtering everybody. So this could be the Chinese invasion, right? That's going to take place here in October and of 22. So the New Madrid earthquake will take place 30 years or 30 days later, God will send his angels into the cities to bring people, his people, the righteous, out of the cities into the places of refuge. Because a lot of stuff is going to start kicking off. There's going to be a lot of action here. Not with the occupation of America that's going to take place, but it's the spirit of the beast rising up around the world. As far as any other points, I don't know. I wasn't shown. All I know in the visions that I saw great fear rising up out of the States. And so in this second part of this timeline, in the second year, you're going to see job losses, you're going to see crop failures, shortages of every kind. So that's what I saw rising up from the States. And at the same time, I knew there was a greater fear, like the fear of the Lord, that people could feel that judgment was coming. And Nibiru, I saw the Nibiru when I was standing in Port Angeles. I was looking, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was looking across the Pacific looking west, and I saw a light beginning to shine in the distance. So if it was our sun that it was coming up in the wrong direction, it could have been Nibiru. I don't know, but I know it was at that moment. And we know that when the New Madrid does take place on July 5th, that there's going to be this earthquake event here. That Chuck Youngbrants did see an earthquake event proceed, take place like a So it could be that the earthquakes in the West Coast, this one that happens here in the visions, triggers, because they are linked as a fault, the fault zones in California, like the Cascadia and the New Madrid, they're all linked. They connect with the Mississippi, right? So the earthquakes in the West Coast, Chuck Youngbrants saw that they triggered the New Madrid fault. So we're going to see some action prior to July 5th. He was saying around June or something like that, but we're in April, May, so it's close. And I think that's about all I can do is as far as making a case that the destruction of the United States is going to happen in the April of the third year of the timeline. So when I come back, we need to put the evidence for here. The evidence right now seems to be stronger, more in favor for these 7 visions to happen here because of the Planet X and what the Lord's been showing this brother and other factors. But I'm going to come back in a third video on this. Don't want to keep this going too long, but definitely we can see as we begin to integrate these various events that we can actually see prophetically what is taking place. This is Joshua Taylor coming to you from here in North Bend, British Columbia, on this teaching of what the Lord gave Chuck Youngbrants.